Hey guys, hi, it's Julie, the Creative Chica. So I finally got this embellishment box together for you guys, and I'm going to show you how to make it. So we'll start with what the box looked like originally, and then we'll make one of a different pattern. So here's the box, and it has inserts. Now these are optional. I will give you the instructions for these, but they're optional. And then we're going to make the box, and then we're going to cover it with these different colors, any color you want. I'm not going to do the bottom, I decided, on my new box, but I am going to cover the sides and do the inside. So that's that. And oh, by the way, this box measures 6 inches, and the highest point on the back is 4 inches. So 4 by 6, the bottom is 4 by 6. Okay, and it does taper off to 3 inches, and we'll talk about how to do that. So that's that. Before we get started, I did make all the little folders with my memory keeper. We are memory keepers tab punch board, and that's what we'll use today. And now I do want to say that although I am using this, you can take like a manila folder and draw your tabs on and then cut them, so you can do that. I'm just going to do it this way because it was easy for me to do it, so hopefully it will be easy for you if you have it. If you don't, look on YouTube. There's lots of people that make these little folders with either this one, or they also use this mini envelope punch board. Okay, I just didn't like the way they looked, but so I decided to do it with this. So I want to show you with just a piece of paper how you do the ends, and then the middle one is the one that we really need the measurements for. So let me show you this. So let me grab 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll just grab any 3 so you can see what they look like. And I'll give you the measurements in a second. And they're all going to be below in the description box below. So you have the far, this is my left, so the far left, middle, and the right. These two are made the same way, except you flip the paper over to make the ends. The center one is the one that you kind of need some instruction with, okay, because I did not make these folders exactly 4 or 6 inches. I made them 5 3/4, so I'd have 1/8 of an inch on each side for movement. Okay, so and I will tell you where what you're gonna use here because of that. So we're gonna start with a plain piece of cardstock to show you the sides, how you do this. So this has a punch here. It's got a little plastic tab that goes here on the end to make the little inlet. Okay, so it makes this little inlet here. Let me grab these two. So they'll make this part and this part of it, and so that's what we're going to do. We'll make the one that goes on the right, and then I'll show you how to do the one that goes on the left. It just depends on which way you want it. So you need to take this little tab from the punch, and it goes with the little lip to your left, and you put it on the very far 2 dots. Okay, so then here you just push this in all the way as far as it'll go, and it shows you here that it'll punch here, and then you just take it and punch it. So there's that. That's the start of the one on the left. And then you take this out, and you guys, this is a good idea that they did this, because this little thing can get lost real easy. So just put it up there, and then use the medium. I use the medium. You could use small or the larger tab. I wanted it to be a medium tab, so that's what I used, and I put it there, and then I just took it. Sorry guys, this is 110-pound cardstock, and I should have used just paper. But anyway, so there, now you have your tab. Okay, so that is going to go either on the left or the right, whichever way you want it to go. So then you will turn this thing over and butt it up against this little ledge and close this down. Make sure your paper is within this bar, okay? That way you can make sure you cut off this part. So then it's got this little blade, and it just comes up, and it's got the blade here, and it's got a notch. And then just take it, put the notch in the track, hold on to this, and slide it. Oops, slide it. See how easy it comes off? So slide it, and then now you have your corner. Okay, now you have your corner. So I wanted to show you that. Now, if you want to do it on the opposite side, it depends on what side of the paper you want. Okay, so I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to do it on the opposite side of the paper. So let's turn it around this way. And so I'm going to flip it, and you always put the corner here again, and just turn it so the little ledge, it's got a bigger ledge on this side that kind of curls a little. Put it on the outside, put it here, stamp it or push it, and then put that up there, and then turn it over, put it onto medium, punch it. Okay, so now you did that. And if you're using a lighter cardstock, it'll probably be better. This is 110 pounds, so it's pretty sturdy. Okay, so now I'm just going to take it, put it in the track, slide it, put it back, and then that cuts the other side. Okay, so it just depends on which side of the paper you want to do. Now, I just wanted to show you that, okay? So now we're actually going to make a folder. All the description of all the sizes are below, and this is a folder that is 8 inches long by 5 3/4, and then we're going to score it in the middle. But so we want to do that after, either before or after we punch it. I prefer to punch it first and then do it. So I want this to be in the middle. Oh, that's the one I was going to show you, is I want it to be in the middle. So let's take a piece of paper and show you that with 5 3/4. I'll just cut that real quick, you guys, and that way I can show you the middle, because the middle is the harder part. I'm sorry, I'm cutting off camera. Okay, so here's 5 3/4. That is the harder one for me. That was harder for me than doing it on the edge, because you have to like score it up in the center here. Okay, so what I did, so I want to show you the center one. Here's the center one, and I'll show you where the first punch goes. So the first punch, it's a medium, right? So you see this line over here, I did this, it says 6 inch, and it's just barely over that 6 inch. Okay, so it says medium, and these are all the inches of paper. So I took it and just did a tad over, maybe a 1/16 of an inch over. So that's what I'll do with this paper, is I'll just put it here, a 1/16 of an inch over. Oops, I forgot this. No, you don't need this one. Sorry, you don't need that yet. Or you don't need that one for the center one. That's just for the edges. So just put it over a little, punch it. Oh goodness. Okay, and then flip it, and then line it up with your it says middle there. Now line it up there, and we'll do the center. Okay, so now you see how it did it in the center. So now we're going to turn it over, and we're going to cut it, and then you just take it again and cut it there, lay it on the track, cut it over. Okay, so now you have your center. Okay, so that's how I made the center one here. Okay, so this one's a little off. So let me see where I did it. Let me just double check my measurements again. I don't want to, because we're going to do another one in a minute. So the middle, okay, so I did the middle right at 6, right at the 6, and then I flipped it, and then I did middle again, so it comes at the end. So we're going to try one and I'll show you guys. So we'll do this again with this paper. So right at the 6, okay, so you punch it, I have to stand up, and then I flip it, and then I put it to the middle. It says middle here, and then I punch again. Okay, so now we got the center, and should be even with this one. Yeah, see how it's even there? So that's even with that. So that's the center, and of course, you know, I'm just going to use my scissors real quick. So then, you know, you use the cutter on the thing, and then you'll have that, right? So then that'll be that. So that's what you do, and that's what I'm going to do next with the actual piece of paper, and then I'm going to score it so I can tell you guys about this paper, okay? So now, depends on which side you want the tab on. So usually the tab is on the back side of the paper. So if you want this to be the front of the folder, you'll be doing it this way because you're going to turn it like this. Okay, so whatever side you like, flip it over and do that. So here's this. Now I'm going to put it here at the 6-inch mark, and then I'm going to do the tab. That was way easier. And then I'll turn it over and go to the medium. Right there it says M for medium. And then I'm going to do the other side. Perfect. Okay, so now there we go. And then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to cut the edges off. Okay, so now we're just going to take and put it in the track. Slide it one way, put it in the track. Make sure your blade isn't going to cut off your tab, and do the other side. So now you have your tab in the center, okay? So there's that. And so now, as far as this goes, we're done with this, okay? So now I can put this away, and so we're going to put that away. Let me get the, where's the instructions? Oh, okay. So anyway, instructions are there, that's fine. And so now we need to score this. And so this is going to be, it's going to go like this. So you're going to score it on this back side. And you're going to score at 4 1/2 and 4 1/4. Okay, so let's take our scoreboard, and you want to put it so that the tab is on the side. So you're going to do it on the long side. So you're going to do 4 1/4 first, 4 1/4. Do it a couple of times, 4 1/4, and then you're going to do 4 1/2. So there's 4 1/2. Okay, so I know it's kind of hard to see, but you'll see it on this side. There's there it is. So make sure it's straight. Then use your bone folder. Okay, and then your 4 1/4. Looks like I actually did 4 1/8 on one of those, but you want to make sure it's 4 1/4, 4 1/4, and 4 1/2. Okay, so there you go. And then when you kind of let that gusset go up, now you have your envelope, and then you just put a label or whatever you want to do there. Okay, so that's that, and that will be the middle one. So that's that. I showed you how to do the ends on that. And so that, to me, that was the hardest part of all of it, is figuring out the measurements for that. So, or how to do that. That throws me off a little bit. So, okay, now you have different parts for the box. Okay, so you're going to have parts, you're going to have the outside parts of the box. the box. Okay, you're going to have some inserts. If these are optional, I'm not going to put them in mine, but I will give you the dimensions. That's optional. And then you're going to cover your box. And the only tricky part is the sides, but it's really not that bad. So then I have all the dimensions and everything for this, like I said, below. And you're going to do that. Okay, so, and I'll give them to you. I have a little notebook here, so I can give them to you real quick. So for these pieces, they're all written on these cards, but I'll read them out for you guys. So you have the bottom, which is 4 by 6. You have the back piece, which is 4.5 by 6 inches. Then you have the front panel, which is 6 inches and 3.5 this way. And they're all, these two are scored at the bottom, and I'll show you guys about that. And then you have 2 side pieces. Now these are kind of interesting because they're 5 and 4 1/4, and they're scored at a 1/2 inch. And then we're going to be cutting off 1 inch at the top. So I'll show you that. So that's the dimensions to that. And then, like I said, the pieces that you'll need for the outside is, I'm using 4 by 4, okay, and then we're going to have to cut it at cut off 1 inch at an angle. So we'll do that. This is 3 by 6, and this is 4 by 6. So these are a little bit easier to cut and cover all the pieces that you're going to make your box with. And then we have the inserts. Now these are the inserts where they go in the middle here. Now, you don't need these dividers, but if you'd like to have them, then you can have them. And these are going to be 7 inches long, and then you're going to by 3 3/4 tall. This is going to be the back one that goes in the back, and then I made a shorter one for the front. So this is the back insert divider, and this, like I said, is 7 inches by 3 3/4. You will score a 1/2 inch on the right and the left. And then this is the front one, which is, I'm going to show you this, it's about a 1/2 inch difference, so it falls lower. And this one is 7 inches long by 3 3/8 width. It's scored at a 1/2 inch on each side. Okay, so there's that. So we're going to start making our box. And since I gave you all the dimensions already, so we're going to start with our box first. So this is the bottom, and what I think I want to do is I like to cover these up first, and then put them together. So let's start with the front panel. So the front panel is 6 by 3.5, and you're going to score the bottom part, the long part, 1/2 inch, okay? So, but you're going to put, and that's going to be scored so it goes into the inside. So then I need this part, this is the front, and I'm going to glue it right there, okay? So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to glue it to my box. And I think I'll take my tape runner and I'll glue it. Now you could use wet glue, dry glue, whatever glue you think will last and that you'd like. So I'm just going to do this glue. And only thing is with this glue, it doesn't give you very much wiggle room. And you need to make sure you're straight. Okay, so that's on. That is going to be the front, so that's good. Now the back. This is the back. Now I'm going to tape the back. Remember, it's 4.5 by 6, scored at the long end of 6, 1/2 inch. Okay, so this is the back, and I'm going to glue the back. Okay, so we're going to put that, I'm folding it up so that I can make sure it's going to be perfectly centered on there. Okay, so this is the back. You want to put your tape on there, or your glue, whatever you like to use. I prefer glue because I know it'll stay, but for now I think this is okay. So I think I will do it on the top. Make sure it's right. Make sure it's on there. I don't want it to wiggle. Okay. It's okay. So it's barely off, just a little tiny bit, but it's okay because it's a white box. If you want to cut the bottom, just wait. I don't think that you need to. It's barely over, but it's fine. So this is the back, right? We got the back here. Well, let's do this. This is the front. This is the back. Now, the sides and the bottom. The bottom will be fine. You don't have to do anything with the bottom. This is the part that's going to be tricky. So it is 5 by 4 1/4, and you score a 1/2 inch down on the sides and on the bottom. So the thing is that this needs to be angled, because that's how I made the box, to angle down so you can see your stuff. So what you do is you go down 1 inch on one side, and then you're going to cut across. And you'll do like the same with this paper. Now with this, I don't know that I really want to do it. Yeah, I guess I will. I guess I'll put the paper down first, and then that's what we're going to do, okay? So I already did it here so that I was going to cut them individually, but since I'm okay with doing the sides, so there, see I marked it there, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to use wet glue because this is kind of a little different. I want it to have a little movement. I don't want this part to be all over the place. So I'll go ahead and use my wet glue and give it a little bit. So I really want this tucked in so I can make sure I get it right at the bottom and at the top. And it gives me a little more room and a little more time. Yeah, I really like my wet glue. Okay, that looks good. And it gives me a little time to make sure that if I need to press down and slide it, I can do it. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to give that time to dry, and then we're going to cut it, okay? Now you can cut these beforehand if you want. Just make your marks of 1 inch down and go to the corner if you want to do that, and then put it together. That's fine. So, but I'm just trying to save a little time and doing it this way. So, again, okay, so this one, I will put it, make sure you stay within inside those lines. Don't glue outside the score marks. So, but this helps you, wrong side, I almost did it, didn't I? It helps you butt it up against the line there, and then get it at the top. Okay, so that's that. Now, so what I was talking about with this is that I brought it down 1 inch, and I'm going to cut it to the edge. One goes on one side, and then this one is going to be on the opposite side. So I'm going to mark it, because I didn't previously mark it, but I want to go ahead and mark this one so that it gets cut. Let's see if I can see the line. There we go. Okay, so then I will cut it from here to the corner, but not all the way to the flap. This one, it doesn't really matter, but just go here to this corner, okay? And here I'll go from here to the inside corner, okay? So that's what I'm going to do right now, is I'll take my paper trimmer out, and I'm going to cut these. So you want to take, there's the one side, and then you want to angle this, get that there, and angle it. Make sure you're right at there, okay? Hold that down. Whoops, that's off. Okay. Oops, wait a minute. You gotta go to the corner. See, I don't know if you could see, but it's up to the score line, okay? Not beyond it. Oops, it's moving. Okay. Alright, so there we go. Okay, so that's what it should look like. And then you have your score lines here. And I guess I might have to glue that or trim it. This one went over a little, so you can trim it. At least it's, you know, already glued there. And this is going to go to the score lines will go to the inside. Okay, so if you, that way you get it really flush right there. And this one is like, I'd say not even an 1/8, so I'm not even going to worry about it. Okay, so I did that one to that one. I cut the ends off, and I'm going to do the same with this. I'm going to go from, I'd rather do it this way because I'd rather have the tiny part at the end, the bigger part at the beginning, because this has more paper, so I'd rather do it this way. Okay, so there's the other one. Okay, and so I will fold that back. Fold it back. This is all going to go to the inside. You can take a look at it, see if you need to trim anything. I think it's okay. It's not too bad at all, so that's good. So that's like the most, I think that's the hardest, not the hardest part, but it's kind of a little bit challenging, especially when I was making this and learning as I was going how to do it, how I wanted to fashion this template for this box. Okay, so now you have all that, right? And so what you need to do now, we're going to make our box now. Okay, and that's it. So you have now, you've created like a little box on the corners. You've created a box. So all you need to do is cut those little corners off. Okay, so there you go. Cut one corner. Cut another corner. And then you're going to have these flaps down here. Just go ahead and take that little, clip it off at an angle. And that one can be clipped off at an angle too. Hang on, let me double check this. Oh yes, it can be clipped off at an angle. So clip off the angles. There you go. So it'll look like that. Okay? Took those little corners off. And you can do that here too. Take off the little corners. And then cut a little clip. You can do it across, all the way across. Okay? You want to do it that way? You can do it that way. Cut that off, like that, and then just go ahead and cut the corners off. Okay? So that'll be fine. Let me make sure I cut this all the way to the edge. I don't want anything hanging right there. Make sure it's right at the, there we go. There we go. So these are all going to be glued to the bottom. So this is the back, and then this is the front. So we'll put those to the side. Here's the bottom. This is a 4x6. Okay, these are the sides. And, oh wait, we'll do the sides second. We'll do the front and back first. So we'll do the back. This is the back. So you're going to take your edge here, and let me just go ahead and trim it up just a little here, because it's about 1/8 of an inch off, and I don't want it. I want it to just be flush. Okay, so now that's flush. Now I'm going to take my wet glue, and I'm going to glue it right to the edge. So we're going to go flush to the edge right there, okay? So that's what we're going to do right now. And yep, that's the back. Take our glue. You could use your tape runner if you want, if you have a really good tape runner. I don't trust my tape runner to glue the box together, but you know, some glues are really good like that. Redline tape is really good. Probably score tape is really good. So, okay, now I have that glue on there. And what I want to do is, I'll turn it upside down so you guys can see. And then I'm going to put this bottom here. This is the bottom. And I got to slide it over. Just make sure it's really, really flush so your box isn't weird. Okay, you can even do it this way. Make sure it goes down and then rub it. Okay, you could take your bone folder or a brayer or whatever you want. Okay, so we got that. So this is what it looks like. This is the bottom, that's the back. So we got that going on. Okay, now we're going to do the front and then we'll do the sides after. If you wanted to clip these, you could do it also. So let's say you wanted to do it this way on this box, and I don't know why I'm way over there. If you wanted to cut the corners off of these, you could do that. That, you know, it doesn't make a difference on these. You could do that, but and then use your tape, and then that way it's not impeding anything. Okay, so but we'll just use glue and glue this up. I'm sorry if it's noisy in here. I got my fan on. It is so hot tonight. I didn't want to turn my air on tonight. It's not hot enough for the air, but it's nice to have the fan on. Okay. Make sure it's nice and straight. Nice and straight. Okay. Nice and flush. And then you can turn it over. Where's my bone folder? Here's my bone folder. Okay, so so now you have this, right? You got your back, you got your front. Now we're going to glue in our sides. And our sides got to get glued all together, but we're going to do it a little easier first. We're going to put on the side, like the bottom first, and then we'll connect these after. Okay, so let's do that. So we want to make sure, you want to make sure that they are going, each one goes top to bottom, and the smaller one goes to the front. So this is the front because it's a smaller panel, and this is glued on like that. So let me glue this on. Okay, so then I'm going to line it up again this way. I want to line it up. Up right at the bottom. Okay, let me double check the back. Yeah, everything looks good. Make sure it's even. Okay, so now you're going to get that. Okay, so now you have that. We'll let that dry, and then we're going to put this one in. Okay, so let's get this one. And let's take that off. I'll line it up, the bottom. Let me make sure. Nope, I gotta move it over a little. Whew, that was almost too, it's almost a mistake. Okay, so just make sure your score lines are really straight and on there. Everything lines up really well. Ooh, this one does not want to cooperate. Okay. Okay, I got that down. What I'm going to use is a brayer because I want to make sure that glue stays on there. Okay, so that's on there. Now we have to glue the sides. So I think I want to do the back first. We'll do the back, and then we'll go to the front. And then we'll be done with making the actual box, okay? So let's go ahead and add glue to the back. Okay. Lift it up. Make sure the corners are right there. Lay it over, press it down. Okay, good. Some glue seepage. It's okay. Okay, good. Now we're going to do this side. Put some glue right here. Now we're going to check it on the sides, make sure it's correct. Yeah, top is good. And I'll lay it down, rub it in, get those corners. Good. Now we got back, front, or excuse me, back sides. Now we're going to do the last part, which is the front, right? And then we'll have our box done, and then we'll fill it in, and then I'll explain like how you would put the inserts. Okay. Okay. So now you take your flaps, or these flaps, and do the same thing. Do the same thing. Make sure they're nice and lined up. Okay, so they're lined up. Turn it over. Get to the inside of the box here. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but you want to make sure you just get in there like that. Okay, and then you got another one here, and you want to do the same with that. And that's your last one. Okay, that's your last one. And just line it up. Box looks good. Now take your bone folder, go inside the box, rub it, and now you have made your box. So you got your box. If you wanted this as a container for something, you could totally use it for that. Now I'll show you, we're going to put all the folders in, but I'm going to explain to you about these. So these are the inserts, and again, they have these flaps. Okay, they have the flaps, and all you would do is take glue and put them inside and glue them wherever you want them, if you want a divider. This is actually the front divider because it's lower than the top. And then I have the other divider, which is the taller divider, which would go in the back. So if you want dividers, that's how you do it. If you don't want dividers, just don't worry about that part. So then, now we have our little folders that will go in there. And where's the other folder? Here's another folder. I'm going to have to fix these because I have them all over. I have 3 here. So let's see, we got the front, we got a middle, we got a far right, and then a front, a middle, a far right, a front, a middle, a far right. Oh, and I made an extra one for the back. Okay, so that's how it would look. And as you can see, look how much room you have. You have a lot of room, and you can make lots of folders and have like as many sentiments as you want, and you can do whatever you want with this. Now, if you want to decorate it, I'll probably decorate it, and I'll try to insert a picture. I won't decorate on camera, but because I just wanted to do the box, which I love. I love the little sewing machines. So cute. And yeah, I can decorate it and show you guys. I'll try to put a picture of it. But if not, I'll try to, if I don't get to do that, then in my next video that I do after this one, then I will show it decorated. But as you can see here, here's the box that I made last fall, when I made my very first one. And see all the gussets? They all have a 1/4 inch. So you could take 3, stick them in the front, take 3 or 4 and stick them in the middle, right? And then the last 3 or 4, if you want to do that, and they don't fall. That's why I did the inserts, because they don't fall. And you can have whatever you want. But if you didn't want them, you, like I said, you don't have to put them in there. Just make as many folders as you want to put little goodies in here. Whatever you want to use this for, you can use it for. And you can have, obviously you can have a lot more when you don't, you know, do that. And when the way they lay, you could still see. So if you wanted to just stick something back there, you could, even like a roll of ribbon or something, just so it doesn't fall. I'll just put this back there, but I won't do that, but you know, just so you can see. Okay, so I hope you guys like this tutorial. I'm sorry it was so long. I was really trying to figure this out for you guys, you know, and I finally got it together. It took me a while, but I got it together, and I hope you guys like this little tutorial. And yeah, so we'll see you guys in the next video.